Mr. President, unang-una, yung sinabi ko pong speculative, sapagkat it was not based on my own speculation. It was based on my long practice as a litigation lawyer. Wala pa po akong nakitang isang unanimous decision. Ewan ko lamang po kung merong magbo-volunteer ngayon na abogado in the last 40 years na sinasabi ang isang unanimous decision na ang karakter niya ay sinabi na ab initio, void ab initio, unconstitutional, violative of due process. Maybe if we can speculate that all the members of the Supreme Court after the filing of the motion for reconsideration will resort to their worst, will resort to the worst angels of their nature. Maybe, baka ganun lang. What do we expect? We expect that 8 of them will reverse themselves altogether. Kung sakasakali naman po na in-archive natin or whatever word is applicable at sinabi, under miraculous circumstances, sinabi ng Supreme Court, we are all reversing ourselves. E di i-continue natin. Anong problema? Pero kagaya po na sinasabi ko kanina, Mr. President, ang pagkakaluto nga po hilaw eh. Ipinipilit po ngayong ipakain sa Senado ang isang bagay na hilaw. Paano? Sinabi po ba ng Supreme Court na wag na kayong mag-impeach? Hindi po. Binigyan po tayo ng guidelines. Alam po ba ninyo kung bakit binigyan na ng guidelines ng Supreme Court kung paano mag-impeach? Kasi po, Mr. President, if you recall, the Supreme Court issued a notice on July 8, 2025, requiring at least 11 information from the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Senate made a manifestation na wala po kaming maibibigay sapagkat lahat po niyan ay makukuha ninyo sa House of Representatives. Alam po ba ninyo na 4 sa hinihingi ng Supreme Court ay nandun po sa puso ng due process? Ano po yung hinihingi? Sinabi lamang po ng Supreme Court, pwede bang ibigay nyo sa amin kung lahat ng miyembro ng House of Representatives ay binigyan ninyo ng kopya at kailan? Pwede bang ibigay nyo sa amin ang timing kung kailan nyo ibinigay at binigyan, kung paano nyo sila binigyan ng pagkakataong mabasa yung impeachment complaint? Pwede nyo bang ibigay sa amin kung every article of impeachment ay nakalagay doon ang mga dokumento na nagpapatibay ng artikulo? Pwede nyo bang ibigay sa amin kung nagkaroon sila ng pagkakataon talaga na mabasa yung impeachment complaint? Alam po ba ninyo kung anong sagot ng Solicitor General in behalf of the House of Representatives? Ito po yung sagot nila. It is the position of the House that these matters pertain to its internal proceedings, which have always been regarded as beyond the jurisdiction and scrutiny of this honorable court. Sa Tagalog po, wala po kayong pakialam dito sa amin. Yung inihingi po ninyo, kami lang po yun. Para tinatanong lang naman po eh. Binigyan nyo ba ng pagkakataon sila na mabasa? Bakit? Mahirap po ba sagutin yun? Ano pa po sinabi? This is especially because the matters referred to the preparation, circulation, and perusal of the impeachment complaint as well as its attachment are not governed by specific constitutional provision or the House rules. So dahil po wala sa Constitution at wala rin po sa House rules, ano po yun? Wardi-wardi na lang. So ibig sabihin talaga, kaya po pala ang dami kong kasama doon, wala talaga silang kopya. Ako nga po hindi nabigyan eh. Bakit hindi po kinakailangan bigyan lahat? Baka sakaling, malay po ninyo, baka pumirma ako, hindi ba? Ito yung tinatanong po ng Korte Suprema. Kaya lang po siya nakapagbigay ng additional guideline sapagkat isip-isipin mong sasabihin sa Korte, wala nang pong masamang tinapay ang Korte. Pwede po malaman namin kung talaga nagkaroon ng pagkakatong mabasa man niya lang, ma-appreciate ang bawat dokumento na nakasalig dyan sa impeachment na yan. Para sa ganun, ay boboto siya sang-ayon sa kanyang sariling kagustuhan. Matibay ang gusto ng Korte Suprema. Gusto niyang makita na lahat ay dumaan sa kayusan. Hilaw nga po Mr. President. Kanina ko pa po pinaiintindi, hilaw. Ba't hindi po kayo magluto ng mas masarap na kanin? Para sa ganun po, hindi tayo mahirapan. Maghintay na lang po kayo ng 6 months. Pwede naman eh. Ba't pinipilit po natin ng isang bagay na hilaw at pinipilit niyong ipakain sa atin? Mr. President, sabi ko po kanina, Mr. President, I am ready to amend my motion. Kung kinakailangan po, that will be consistent on the respect accorded to the Supreme Court. Kaya lamang po, kailangan nating umaksyon sapagkat kagaya po ng nalalaman natin, naghihintay ang taong bayan na kailangan magkaroon po ng closure ito sapagkat kapag ito will be hanging on the balance, baka hindi po mabutihin ng ating mamamayan. Yun lang naman po ang pinakapunto rito, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta.
Mr. President.
What is the pleasure of the minority floor leader?
Thank you, Mr. President. Caution is the word simply being put forth by this representation, Mr. President. Because again, sabi nga, wala pa raw siyang nakita. The distinguished gentleman from Tarlac, with due respect, said wala pa siya nakita na unanimous decision ng Supreme Court na baliktad. No? Again, I said, there's always a first time. Bakit ko sinasabi ito? I will quote the Supreme Court themselves. In De Pedro versus Romasan Development Corporation, GR 194751, July 1, 2015, I quote, Supreme Court nagsabi nito, while the Supreme Court's decisions are immediately executory, they are not considered final until the lapse of the prescribed period without a motion for reconsideration or upon denial of such motion. Sila nga mismo nagsasabi na hindi final eh. Ano ba naman ang masama na maghintay tayo na kung final na? For all you know, I might vote on the motion to dismiss. Hindi ba? If there is such a motion, because according to Senator Lacson, it does not exist in the Senate. It exists in the impeachment court. And what I am being told is that it should be the defense, the lawyers of the defense who should pose that motion to dismiss, not a judge. I agree with Senator Lacson. There is no such thing as a motion to dismiss in the Senate. In the impeachment court, yes. Thank you, Mr. President.
Hindi po ba inamid na natin, Mr.
By the way,
President?
just one last point. Why did the Supreme Court ask Sara to comment? Kung final and executory na yan, bakit si Vice President Sara was asked to comment by the Supreme Court just a few days ago? Di ba? So, ibig sabihin, talagang pakikinggan pa nila. At baka sakali makita nila, dahil yung mga abogadong nakapaligid sa kanila, nagbigay sa kanila ng mga maling figures at maling impormasyon.
Mr.
By way of point-
President, kaya nga po nag-i-speculate tayo rito eh. Hindi natin alam kung anong iniisip ng Supreme Court. Pero sa ngayon, sinabi po niya, immediately executory at tayo lamang po talaga ang pinagsasabihan niya. At tungkol naman po sa motion to dismiss na minodify ko na kung ayaw po ninyo, wala po akong magagawa. Pero may I invoke Section 135 of the Senate Rules. Ang sabi po rito, if there is no rule applicable to a specific case, the precedents of the Legislative Department of the Philippines shall be resorted to. So ang dami po nito eh. Dito po magkakaroon ng motion to dismiss dito. Lahat po ng precedents, kahit na wala po tayong specific rules, ay observe po natin ang Section 135 ng ating rules. Pero dahil inamend ko na nga po, kung pwede na po yung motion to archive, which is consistent to the immediate execution of the decision of the Supreme Court addressed to this august chamber. Okay, bakit naman po pinipilit pa nating i-delay based on speculation? Based on the fortunes of whatever the Supreme Court will decide later on, which is based on impossibility.
Noted and entered into the records.
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
What is the pleasure of the Honorable Cayetano?
Just 1 minute, Mr. President. Just for the information of the body, there's actually a Supreme Court case about the power to dismiss a case. Ito po yung Velasquez versus Velasquez Jr. versus Lisondra Land 2020 case. Ang sabi niya, in order for the court or an adjudicative body to have authority to dispose of the case on the merits, it must acquire jurisdiction over the subject matter. It is axiomatic that the jurisdiction over subject matter is conferred by law and not by the consent or acquiescence of any or all of the parties or by erroneous belief of the court that it exists. Thus, when a court or tribunal has no jurisdiction over the subject matter, the only power it has is to dismiss the action. So Supreme Court na mismo nagsasabi na pag walang jurisdiction, it does not exist. So sabi ng Supreme Court dito, void ab initio yung articles of impeachment. Pag tinitingnan natin rules natin, the impeachment court is triggered by an articles of impeachment. Kung walang article of impeachment, walang court. So yes, it's true na it is a fact, not an operative fact. It is a fact na nag-robe tayo, nandito tayo. It is not an operative fact na meron tayong jurisdiction doon. Lastly, Mr. President, sa Rule 39, Section 4, judgment not stayed by appeal. Judgments in actions for injunction, receivership, accounting, support, and such other judgments that are now or hereafter be declared to be immediately executory shall be enforceable after their rendition and shall not be stayed by an appeal. Some may say this is for injunction, receivership, etc., and not for the impeachment court. Ang point ko lang, Mr. President,
Your Honor,
meron naman tayong...
This is a case for injunction.
Yes.
Filed by the Vice President against both the Senate and the House.
Thank you for that clarification. But even if it was not, Mr. President, that is why if we... The gentleman from Tarlac already said he's amendable. So kung halimbawa something like... we move to act upon the Supreme Court decision and archive the case. Kasi yung Supreme Court decision, when you act upon, ano ba sabi niya? Immediately executory. Ano ba sabi niya? Void ab initio. Ngayon, kung halimbawa, na-reconsider at biglang sinabing tuloy, wala rin naman na epekto yon sa motion na we act upon the Supreme Court. Then, at the proper time, someone can say here, we will act upon the latest decision of the Supreme Court. Diba? So I'm just saying this in the spirit, Mr. President, na pag nakaboto tayo, at least klaro kung anong pinagbobotohan. Because some of us might not vote for the motion to dismiss. Just because we believe there is no such thing as a motion to dismiss. But I don't think that's our point. Our point is lagyan ng katahimikan to for a few months. February 6, game na ulit.
Noted and entered into the records. Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next to interpolate, Mr. President, is the distinguished gentleman from Pampanga, but the gentleman from Pampanga is yielding the floor to our Deputy Minority Leader.
Yes, what is the pleasure of the Honorable Antiveros?
Thank you, Mr. President, and to the good gentleman from Pampanga. Gusto ko lang pong bigyan ng point of information, sagot dun sa tanong ng good gentleman mula sa Tarlac, that in fact, the Supreme Court has reversed a unanimous decision in a lot of instances before. Dalawa lang po ang ibibigay kong halimbawa. League of Cities of the Philippines versus COMELEC. Original decision, 2008. Reversal on motion for reconsideration 2009. Isa pa pong halimbawa, International Service for the Acquisition of Agri-Biotech Applications Inc. o ISAA et al. Versus Greenpeace Southeast Asia. Original decision, unanimous, December 8, 2015. Reversed unanimously on MR din, July 26, 2016. So, hindi lang po tulad nung sinabi ni Minority Leader na there's always a first time, it has happened before. So, yung ganitong klaseng milagro na hinahanap, posibleng mangyari din po dito sa kasong pinag-uusapan natin. Malay po natin. Salamat po, Mr.
Noted.
President. Salamat
Mr.
sa good
President,
gentleman
may I know
from Tarlac.
from
And
the
entered
good
into the
senator,
records. Senator Marcoleta.
may I know from the good senator if these decisions are bank decisions or divisions?
Yes, Mr. President, unbanked decisions po.
Well, you have to cite the The
I would gladly
jurisprudence.
cite the GR number po bang hinihingi, Mr. President?
Pagka sinabi po bang lahat po ng members ng Supreme Court, 15 of them, unanimous.
To
Kasi po
reiterate what
baka division lang yan, 5 lang yun. Hindi po
No,
bank
Mr.
yun.
President, to reiterate what I already said, mga ano po ito, mga reversal ng unanimous Supreme Court decisions.
Yes, but I am
At sa
asking for
dalawang
qualification,
halimbawang
Mr.
binigay
President,
ko
whether
po
these are
on
bank
MR.
decisions or decisions by a division. And whether or not they
Mr.
were
President,
characterized by...
sinabi ko rin na po kanina ang
Sandali
bank
po.
decisions po ito. Ay, hindi po.
Whether or
I
not
am
the
replying to
decisions
question.
are characterized by the following qualifications. 1, unconstitutional, void ab initio, violative of due process. All these are present in those jurisprudence and cases as you cited.
Mr.
President.
Mr. President, bagamat para itong yung pinag-uusapan natin kaninang operative facts, kanina simple lang yung tanong eh. May kaso na po ba na ang Supreme Court sa unanimous decision ay ni-reverse ang sarili nila? Ngayon may dinadagdag na tanong. Pero sige po, yung League of Cities of the Philippines versus COMELEC, the Supreme Court in its original decision in 2008 unanimously declared the cityhood laws unconstitutional. I will have to get more information po on the ISAA reversal of unanimous decision. Pero malinaw na mga sagot na po ito dun sa original na tanong. So the original assertion na hindi po natin alam kung na-reverse na ng Supreme Court ang sarili nila sa original na unanimous decision has fallen by the wayside. Kasi the Supreme Court, as I said already earlier, has reversed a unanimous decision en banc in a lot of instances before. Yun lamang naman po, Mr. President.
Noted and entered
Salamat
into
po.
the records. Majority Floor Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, may I move that we recognize the next interpellator, the gentleman from Pampanga, Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Yes,
So
Mr.
moved, Mr. President.
Senator Pangilinan is recognized and may proceed. Should the gentleman so desire.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. President, this is not an interpellation, but with the permission of the gentleman from Tarlac, we will just make a manifestation.
The gentleman may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, marahil marami ang nagtataka o nagtatanong ano nga ba ang pinakapunot dulo o debate na pinag-uusapan dito sa Senado. Tatlong sa probisyon ng saligang batas. Tatlong kapangyarihan ng tatlong sangay o tatlong governmental entities. Yung kapangyarihan ng judicial review ng Korte Suprema, yung sole power ng House of Representatives to initiate impeachment proceedings, at yung sole power ng Senate bilang impeachment court para litisin at pagpasyahan ang isang impeachment case. Narito tayo ngayon, nagdedebate dahil yung judicial review power ng Supreme Court ay pinawalang bisa ang sole power ng House of Representatives para ito ay mag-initiate ng impeachment proceeding, at pinawalang bisa rin ang kapangyarihan ng Senado bilang sole having the sole power to try and decide impeachment cases. Dahil dito, saan tayo tutuloy? Merong na ring mga ruling ang Korte Suprema kung paano natin iha-harmonize o ihahambing ang mga nagtatalong probisyon ng saligang batas. Sinabi ng Korte Suprema sa kaso ng Civil Liberties Union versus the Executive Secretary, pati na rin sa Francisco case versus HOR, the Constitution is to be interpreted as a whole, and one section is not to be allowed to defeat another. In this case, the judicial review should not be defeated. The sole power of the House to initiate should not be defeated. And the sole power of the Senate to try and decide cases, all mandates, all duties, all constitutional powers that do not belong to us, that was given to us not by any whim, but by the Constitution, all of whom here sworn to uphold and defend. Kaya ano ang way forward? Sabi nga, may mga minungkahi, si Justice Ascuna, hayaan sa MR, payagan sa motion for reconsideration, payagan na magkaroon ng operative facts doctrine para yung anuman ang pinagpasya ng Korte Suprema sa kasong ito should apply prospectively, number one. Pangalawa ay sa pamamagitan ng MR pa rin ay mabigyan ang House of Representatives na maituloy ang kanyang kapangyarihan to initiate, and at the same time, mabigyan ang kapangyarihan ng Senado to try and decide the case. Kaya habang naririyan ang MR, baka sakali, at nangyari na nga, na the Supreme Court has reversed itself, even in a unanimous decision. But even assuming it does not reverse itself in this case, the Supreme Court may modify its ruling. And therefore, if it modifies the ruling, assuming that it modifies but does not reverse itself, should we not await the resolution of the motion for reconsideration before we vote? Today, we hold it in abeyance or we table it. Mr. President, if I may add, the SC, the Supreme Court, hindi niya binanggit. Binanggit niya nawalan ng jurisdiction ang Senate Impeachment Court. Pero ang ibig sabihin nun ay pinawalang bisa, ginawang void ab initio ang mga kilos at pasya ng Impeachment Court. The convening of the Impeachment Court was voided. The majority decision to remand the complaint to the HOR was voided. The summons by the Impeachment Court were all voided, which brings us to the question, who now is deciding the impeachment case? Now that all the decisions of the Impeachment Court have been voided. It's a tricky question, Mr. President. But if I were to be an impeachment court judge, I would argue that we have to, in the MR, in the motion for reconsideration, intervene and uphold the impeachment court's exclusive power to try and decide the case. Why? Because it is the constitutional duty to do so. It is the order of the Constitution. We are not defying the judicial review powers. We are upholding the sole power of the Senate to try and decide impeachment cases. But, having said that, sabi nga, it is our view, and this is shared precisely by former Supreme Court Chief Justice Panganiban, former Chief Justice Puno, former Constitutional Commissioner and Justice Ascuna. They have seen, or they have read their decision, and they too have said that the Supreme Court erred on a matter of facts. And if the Supreme Court erred on a matter of facts, how can you be right with the law if you are wrong with the facts? And if you are not right with the law, why will the impeachment court and the Senate, for that matter, decide on the matter today? Why not wait for the motion for reconsideration? Siguro naman, hindi natin binabangga ang Supreme Court, hindi natin binabangga rin ang House of Representatives dahil meron ding prinsipyo ng parliamentary courtesy. Meron ding prinsipyo na kinakailangan natin bigyan ng respeto ang co-equal. We are a co-equal to the House of Representatives. Ano na lang ang magiging repercussion na ito ang House of Representatives nag-file ng motion for reconsideration, hinihiling nila sa Supreme Court na baguhin ang ilang mga findings of facts, baguhin ang kanilang naging desisyon habang pinangunahan ng Senado ang House of Representatives at sinabi, wala kaming pakialam sa inyong motion for reconsideration, i-dismiss namin ang kasong ito. I think out of courtesy for a co-equal, we should respect the House of Representatives. In the same way, if the Senate would, at a future time, file a case before the Supreme Court and seeks a motion for reconsideration in a matter that involves the House, we would like to think that the House will not act to have the case dismissed pending the MR out of respect for a co-equal. Sana, pag-aralan natin ng husto ang pagpasya ngayong hapon. Sabi ko nga, the findings of grave abuse by the Supreme Court, thereby removing or taking away from us the jurisdiction, na wala tayong jurisdiction, that jurisdiction was not acquired on the basis of facts that are flawed, where then is the grave abuse? I don't know what the ruling will be. Perhaps they will say, yes, there was no grave abuse of discretion on the part of the House because of the one-year bar, which was not actually the fourth complaint was not barred. I don't know. But whatever it is, hintayin na lang naman sana natin. Respetuhin naman natin ang ating co-equal. Why the convening of the impeachment court is the way to go? Dahil pag tayo ay bumoto ngayong hapon o ngayong gabi na i-dismiss ito, aksyonan ang impeachment complaint, we will be acting without legal authority dahil wala naman sa atin yung impeachment complaint. Wala namang kapangyarihan ang Senado in plenary, ultra vires, without legal authority, ang magiging desisyon natin. One final point. In the Corona impeachment trial, nang himasok, nag-TRO ang Supreme Court para sa mga bank accounts. Ano ang ginawa ng Senate Impeachment Court? Bumoto 13-10 para respetuhin ang Korte Suprema. I did not vote in favor of the TRO or respecting the TRO. But the Senate, as an impeachment court, voted and we respected it. Because it was the Senate Impeachment Court that decided. It was not the Senate. It was the Senate Impeachment Court that, seeing perhaps that we needed to harmonize the power of judicial review, the power of the Senate as an impeachment court, to have the sole power rather to try and decide cases, seeing that the Senate in impeachment court decided to harmonize the conflicting provisions of the Constitution. I think we should, as a Senate impeachment court, do the same. Kung ipagbobotohan na respetuhin ng Korte Suprema para walang constitutional crisis, so be it. But it ought to be the Senate Impeachment Court that asserts its sole power to try and decide impeachment cases. Yun na lamang po, and I associate myself with the motion of the minority leader that we lay on the table the matter of the impeachment case and action.
Just a point of information, for the record and for the information of the body. Chair confirms the manifestation earlier of Senator Cayetano with respect to Section 4, Rule 39 of the Rules of Court, that says that decisions of the court are not immediately executory unless the decision says so. In this case, the decision specifically stated that it is immediately executory. Number two, again, just for the record, the Supreme Court itself, through its spokesperson, after the House filed their motion for reconsideration, reiterated the immediately executory nature of the decision of the Supreme Court. And finally, the Supreme Court's own internal rules states that the entry of judgment shall be the date such decision or resolution becomes executory unless the court directs its immediate execution. I'm quoting and citing AM number 10-4-2-20 SC, specifically section 16, rule 16 section 1. So there are conflicting authorities with respect to the opinions raised by the various members. Senator Marcoleta, what is your pleasure?
Just a quick reaction, Mr. President, on the manifestation of Senator Pangilinan. In the exercise of the Supreme Court's judicial review, wala po siyang dinidefeat doon. Hindi niya po kinukuha yung sole power of the Senate to try and hear impeachment cases. Hindi rin po niya kinukuha yung exclusive authority ng House to initiate impeachment. Dito po sa desisyon na ito, kung kinakailangang ulitin po o ulit-ulitin pa, ang sinabi lamang po ng Supreme Court, yung process, yung procedure hindi natupad. Ang dami po niyang hiningi, kagaya po ng binanggit ko na, ayaw pong ibigay. Yun naman pong mga tuntunin ay hindi naman po sinunod. Katulad nga po nung immediate referral, yung pag-refer sa Committee on Justice, yun pong pag-include sa order of business at pag-archive, mali din po sapagkat hindi naman po 10th session day yun 11th session day. Katakot-takot na paglabag po ang aking pong inihayag sa hapong ito. Wala naman pong gustong magpatibay at o kaya sansalain o kaya sabihin na mali ang aking sinasabi. And dito po yung kopya ng order of business na pinagbasihan ng Solicitor General na kung saan sinasabi po niya na yung 4 na impeachment complaints in-include daw po sa order of business. Tingnan po ninyo, wala kahit isa. Ang ginamit po nila ay journal, hindi po yung order of business na kung saan ginamit lamang po na additional reference of business. Ngayon po, yung operative pact na sinasabi natin, hindi rin po pwedeng mangyari yon sapagkat ang pinakabasihan po noon ay equity and fairness. Paano po yung fairness dito? Sari-sari nga pong violation, kaya nga ang paghahanilin tulad ko na nga, parang nagsaing ng kanin, talagang hilaw po Bakit ipipilit natin? Ang alternative lang po, Mr. President, gawin po natin na tama. Iluto po natin ng tama para hindi tayo magkahirap-hirap dito. Isip-isipin po ninyo, sinasabi ng ating Constitution, isa lamang pong impeachment proceedings ang pwedeng i-initiate sa isang opisyal ng gobyerno at hindi po pwede ang 2 beses sa loob ng 1 taon. 4 na beses po ang ginawa nila. At kunwari, in-archive po yung 3 para lamang palitawin na 1 lang ang nabuhay. Nasaan naman po yung katuwiran? Kung sarili pong tuntunin, ayaw pong sagutin, ayaw pong talimahin, pagkatapos ipipilit po natin, sapagkat nag-MR sila, ano po ang kasaysayan ng MR? Sabi ko nga po, napakasimple po nung one-year ban rule ng Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court is not even obligated and expected to conduct a microscopic, a forensic and scientific scrutiny of this provision where the pertinent language and the relevant meaning is as clear as daylight, Mr. President. Ano po yung gagawin? Hihintayin po ba natin kung ano ang magiging kalalabasan po ng MR na sa akin pong palagay, hindi po speculation, sabi ko nga po. Unanimous decision and bank decision ab initio unconstitutional, violative of due process, immediately executory. Sino po kaya kahit isa man lang na miyembro ng Korte Suprema ang magtatangka na i-reverse niya yung sarili niya? Yun po yung speculation dito. Ngayon, nakikinig po ang taong bayan, Mr. President. Nakadepende po ba ang aksyon natin? Doon po ba nakahang ang gagawin natin sa isang motion for reconsideration na sa aking palagay, matibay po ang aking palagay sapagkat this is borne out by my experience of more than 20 years of legal practice, Mr. President. Yang ibig lang sabihin nung immediately executory, sige, pwede kang mag-file ng MR. But you are wishing for the moon. Sumusuntok ka sa hangin. Yun po ba ang basihan natin? Kaya hindi tayo makapag-desisyon, Mr. President? Sana mayroong mas matibay sanang desisyon. Meron sanang mas matibay na katuwiran. Hindi yung pong nakasalig po sa hangin. Nakasalig po kung puputok ang bulkan o hindi. Hindi po yata gano'n. Ang gawain ng Senado, Mr. President. Tinangka ko na nga pong i-amend. Kung ayaw po ninyo yung motion to dismiss any other language that will put to rest this issue in obedience and in complete respect to the last word of the Supreme Court, it being immediately executory, Mr. President.
What is the pleasure of Senator Aquino? I saw him raising his hand earlier. Senator Aquino seems to be yielding to
Yes, Mr.
Senator...
President, may we recognize Senator Lacson, Mr. President?
Thank you, Mr.
With the
President.
permission of Senator Aquino, Senator Lacson is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gusto ko lamang pong itama ang misimpression that may have been created by the interpretation of the Honorable Marcoleta do sa Section 135. Sabi niya, yung supplementary application of the rules of court. Basahin ko po yung Section 135, Mr. President. If there is no rule applicable to a specific case, the presidents of the Legislative Department of the Philippines shall be resorted to. And as supplement to this, the rules contained in Jefferson's Manual, Riddick's Precedents and Practices, and Hinds' Precedents. Wala naman po ako nakita doon sa enumeration na rules of court. Di ba po sabi ng mga abogado, di ba yung expressio unius est exclusio alterius. What is expressly included excludes all others. So wala naman pong rules of court. Kaya gusto ko pong itama yung medyo hilaw pong interpretation ng ating Honorable Marcoleta. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Noted.
Mr. President, may we recognize Senator Bam Aquino has been waiting for his turn to interpolate the gentleman from Tarlac.
Senator
So moved,
Aquino
Mr.
is recognized and may proceed.
Maraming
Should
salamat.
the gentleman allow it?
Maraming salamat, Mr. President. This is a manifestation, not an interpolation, Mr. President. At kanina pa ako nakikinig.
The gentleman may proceed.
Marami po sa mga puntong nabanggit na ng mga kapwa nating senador ay sumasang-ayon po tayo at tama, no? Napag-usapan na po ang independence ng Senado, kung gaano kahalaga ang papel na ginagampanan natin sa ating bansa, sa checks and balances ng ating gobyerno. At alam rin naman po ng mga kasama natin na sa caucus, sinabi ko rin po na ang posisyon ko ay dapat mag-convene ang impeachment court at doon magdesisyon kung ano ang mga susunod na hakbang pagdating po sa impeachment case. No? That's known to everyone. I've said that in the media. Mr. President, in our history, nagkaroon po ng mga panahon na ang Senado ay nag-assert ng kanyang independence bilang isang co-equal branch of government. Nangyari po yan many times. I remember in the 90s, kahit po ang executive, at that time, President Cory Aquino nagnais na manatili ang US bases dito sa ating bansa. Yung Senado, nanindigan, kahit puro kaalyado, kahit puro kakampi at kamag-anak nasa Senado, nag-decide pa rin yung Senate to assert its independence and to do away with the US bases. Nangyari po yan many times in our history, Mr. President. Kaya palagay ko, yung role ng Senado napakahalaga pagdating sa pagpapanatili ng checks and balances. And Mr. President, marami tayong tungkulin. May tungkulin gumawa ng batas, may tungkulin sa pagbuo ng maayos na budget, may tungkulin ng oversight, pero meron din pong tungkulin pagdating sa pananagutan or accountability. At yun po yung sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. Ang posisyon ko, Mr. President, at nabanggit rin ito ng iba nating mga kasama, ay mahalagang i-assert natin ang ating independence. Mahalaga po na itong papel na ginagampanan natin sa ating Constitution ay pahalagahan po natin. Mahalaga po na manatili ang independence ng ating Senado bilang isang co-equal branch of government. Mr. President, posisyon ko rin po na nagsimula na ang impeachment proceedings. Nag-robe na po, nagsimula na, merong summons na binigay, may response na po si Vice President Sara. Kami pong mga bago, may mga robe na rin po pero hindi pa po nadudumihan. Hindi po magagamit, no? Ang posisyon ko po, mag-convene ang impeachment court at doon natin i-decide ang mga bagay-bagay na ito. Mr. President, may dalawang bagay rin na nailabas, no? Na hindi pa siguro na pag-uusapan. Let me read, Mr. President, Article 9, Section 3 of our Constitution, Accountability of Public Officers. In case the verified complaint or resolution of impeachment is filed by at least 1/3 of all members of the House, the same shall constitute the articles of impeachment and trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Wala pong dagdag po dito. No? Dito po sa gallery, kasama ho natin dalawang framers of our Constitution. Nandito po si Professor Ed Garcia at si former Chairperson Christian Monsod. Kanina po, nagbubulungan kami. Sabi ko, nung ginawa nyo to, bakit parang ganun kasimple? Simpleng-simple lang, ito lang. At sabi nga po nila, noon daw, 1/2, 2/3, binabato 1/2 sa deliberation, nag-end up sa 1/3. At yung desisyon ay dahil sa kabilisan. Dahil mahalaga daw na mabilis. Pag may 1/3, members of the House ang pipirma, mabilis na pupunta po sa Senado. At ito po, tinatanong ko sa kanila, dahil sila po yung nagbuo ng ating Constitution. You know, many times, Mr. President, umiikot tayo sa ating bansa. I-bring up ko lang po yung free college law. No? Marami ko sa atin dito nagtulungan para sa batas na yan. Meron kaming nakausap na eskwelahan. Ini-explain sa akin yung opt-out provision. Kung paano sila nag-charge ng mga estudyante dahil sa opt-out provision. At sabi ko sa kanila, mali. Mali ang interpretasyon ninyo. Yung interpretasyon ninyo, wala yan sa aming intensyon. Ang intensyon po namin, libre ang kolehiyo sa mga kabataan. At nung nag-argumento po sa akin, ang sabi ko, mas alam ko yan kasi ako ang nagbuo ng batas na yan. Mas alam namin yan dahil kami ang nagsulat ng provision na yan. In the same sense, Mr. President, the framers of our Constitution, mas alam po nila. Mas alam nila kung ano yung intent ng ating Constitution. Wala pong labis, walang dagdag. Many times, Mr. President, tinatanong tayo, usually pag campaign time to, tinatanong kami, Mr. Senator, hindi ba dapat merong educational attainment requirement yung pagiging senador? At sinasabi ko po lagi, wala, kasi wala po yan sa ating konstitusyon. Wala pong dinagdag, wag tayong magdagdag nang wala pong nakasaad po dyan. So gaya po niya, no, binabanggit ko lang po dito dahil na pag-uusapan, may mga dinagdag na mga procedure. Alam ko po, siguro, tama po ang sinasabi ni Senator Marcoleta, baka maganda naman ang intensyon ng Supreme Court. Pero aminin na po natin, wala po yung ibang mga bagay dyan dito po sa ating konstitusyon. Pangalawang punto, ito po hindi rin po nagpag-uusapan pa. Nabanggit po dito, wag na tayong lumaban kasi matatalo rin naman tayo. No? Of course, Mr. President, it is improbable, aaminin ko po yan, very improbable na magbago ang Korte Suprema with 15 votes. But it's not impossible. Improbable at impossible, magkaiba po yan, firstly. But secondly, Mr. President, may mga panahon na kahit alam nating matatalo, kailangan pa ring lumaban. Tayong lahat po dito, dumaan po dyan. Ako po, dumaan rin po dyan. Kahit mukhang mahirap, kahit mukhang matatalo, kailangan lumaban pa rin. Tumayo tayo sa sarili nating paa, mag-assert tayo ng ating independence, ipahiwatig natin yung ating saloobin bilang isang grupo, ipakita ho natin na co-equal branch of government tayo, na meron tayong punto de vista, at kahit matatalo, kahit sa kaduluduluan ng lahat, rerespetuhan rin naman natin ang Supreme Court, mahalaga na mailagay pa rin kung ano ang nasa saloobin ng ating grupo. Mahalaga pa rin na malagay natin kung ano talaga ang posisyon ng Senado pagdating sa ating independent nature and being the sole authority to try and decide impeachment cases, kahit po matatalo. So para sa akin po, hindi katanggap-tanggap ang posisyon na dahil matatalo rin tayo, huwag na tayong lumaban. Paminsan-minsan po mahalaga na ilagay naman natin ang ating posisyon kahit alam po natin na hindi pabor sa atin ang mga bagay-bagay. Thank you, Mr. President, and we'd like to thank Senator Marcoleta for his time.
Thank you, Senator Aquino. Noted and entered into the records. Senator Marcoleta.
Mr. President, I thank Senator Bam for his manifestation. Totoo nga po na yung binasa niya sa Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 4, na sinasabi nga naman, in case the verified complaint or resolution of impeachment is filed by at least 1/3 of all the members of the House, the same shall constitute the articles of impeachment and trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Ngunit, Mr. President, this cannot be applied in isolation of Paragraph 8 na nandito rin po sa the same Section 3, Article 11. Ang sinasabi po sa Paragraph 8, the Congress shall promulgate its rules on impeachment to effectively carry out the purpose of this section. Kaya po ang sinusunod ng House dapat yung rules of procedures in impeachment proceedings. Pero kagaya po na sinabi ko, imbes na sundin po nila, sila po yung gumawa nun eh. Hindi naman po nila sinunod. Kaya po ang nangyari, pinagsabihin ng Korte Suprema, ganito ang pag-file. Nagbigay nga po ng guidelines. Pangalawa po, yung kanyang sinabi na nakapag-umpisa na po kayo eh. Kanina po, kinwalify ko yun before I proceeded in my speech. Sabi ko po, the initial proceedings conducted by the Senate of the 19th Congress were not formally carried over into the Senate of the 20th Congress. Wala po talaga eh. I cannot recall, sabi ko nga, and there is no action taken by this chamber, Mr. President, sapagkat ang alam ko, all these proceedings were already deemed terminated at the expiration of the 19th Congress at noon of June 30, 2025. And they cannot be miraculously bring forth to life in this Congress where both of us now belong because this Congress is of different composition. Yun lamang po ang qualification doon, Mr. President.
Quick rejoinder, Mr. President.
Senator Aquino is recognized.
Yes, Mr. President. Babanggitin ko lang po yung isang banggit ni my co-gentleman from Tarlac, Senator Marcoleta. Mr. President, may Section 4, may Section 8, di ba? Ito po ba'y meant to reflect each other or not? Maganda pong matanong yung mga framers of the Constitution. Sila po yung nandoon nung nabuo po ito. At malalaman natin yan kung meron pong oral arguments. Kung ibubukas po ang mga argumento sa publiko, pwede po magsalita yung framers of the Constitution at doon po sa posisyong yon, malalaman natin ano ba talaga ang intensyon ng mga gumawa ng ating Constitution. And Mr. President, pwede pong mangyari yon if we are able to table this matter and allow for these oral arguments to happen. Mr. President, hindi po ba maganda rin kung ang Senado mismo magsama-sama at magsabi sa Supreme Court, baka magandang magkaroon ng oral arguments dito po sa kasong ito. Yun lang po, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Majority
so we can
Leader.
continue, Mr. President, with the list of senators wanting to interpellate and make a manifestation. At this juncture, Mr. President, may we recognize the distinguished gentleman from Isabela and Davao, Senator Raffy Tulfo, for his manifestation. So move, Mr.
Senator
President.
Tulfo is recognized for his manifestation.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is not an interpellation, but a short, very short manifestation. In line with what Senator Pia Cayetano said earlier, that we can be creative in our motion today, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I've heard it right, what Senator Pangilinan from the minority said, that we're not defying the decision of the Supreme Court. So may I propose that instead of dismissal, we just dissolve this impeachment court? Because in the first place, per the decision of the Supreme Court, sinasabi na wala naman talaga tayong jurisdiction over dito sa articles of impeachment. So mas maganda siguro, i-dissolve na lang natin to para we're still in line with what the Supreme Court said. Thank you, Mr. President.
Noted and entered into the records.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader.
next and last but not the least to interpolate the distinguished gentleman from Tarlac is the lady from Taguig and Pateros, no other than Senator Pia Cayetano. I move that she be recognized, Mr. President.
Senator Pia Cayetano is recognized for interjections and/or manifestation. You may proceed, ma'am, if the gentleman will so allow it.
Yes, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the permission of the proponent, Senator Marcoleta, I would like to
Yes, Mr. President.
make a few observations and then perhaps ask His Honor's opinion on these matters.
Please.
Thank you. So, Mr. President, I'm reading directly from the case Duterte versus House of Representatives, page 95. It states, the subsequent filing of the articles of impeachment under Article 11, Section 3.4 against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte and its transmittal by the House of Representatives to the Senate of the 19th Congress is considered to be a separate and distinct mode of initiating the impeachment process. The articles of impeachment are declared barred by Article 11, Section 3.5 of the Constitution. Likewise, they are unconstitutional and are deemed null and void ab initio. Consequently, the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute itself into an impeachment court. This decision is immediately executory. It shall be deemed served on petitioner and released upon publication the Supreme Court website and receipt of the parties of their digital copy in accordance with AM number 250516 SC or the guidelines on the transition to electronic filing in the Supreme Court. So, I read this into the record, Mr. President, because I'd like to emphasize a few key phrases. The Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute itself into an impeachment court. I'll start with that one, and then the second one is this decision is immediately executory. So, pag sinabing the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute itself into an impeachment court, and yet the fact remains that we did constitute ourselves into an impeachment court, then what are we supposed to do? Because the Supreme Court tells us that we did not acquire jurisdiction. As most lawyers, well, all lawyers should know, when the Supreme Court tells another body, usually it's the lower court or sometimes it's a government agency, and the case was by our accepted rules elevated to the Supreme Court. They tell them you have no jurisdiction. The only thing you do is, what do they call it? There's a term, you have residual powers. And those residual powers basically simply allow you to dispose of the case as per instructions of the Supreme Court. Is that the understanding of His Honor?
Yes, Mr. President. Actually, residual powers apply also under Section 135. Yun po yung sinasabi ko kanina. Hindi ko po sinabi kanina na I am invoking that because the rules of court are there. Hindi po yun. Kasi legislative department po ang sinabi ko doon. Kasi wala pong applicable rules. Pwede po yun, ma'am, Mr. President.
Kasi ang akin po, and I've tried all my life to be a dutiful citizen, and Alan knows I was a good daughter, a better daughter than he was a son, in terms of following our father's rules. Pag sinabing, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yan, wala kang karapatan na gawin yan, hindi ko gagawin yon. At kung ginawa ko yon, babawiin ko. Kasi nga sinabi sa akin na wala akong karapatan na gawin yon. So, yun ho ang iniintindi ko. I am one of 5, tama bang bilang ko, 5 lawyers here in the Senate. And I'm trying to do my job as a senator and as a lawyer. I am trying to listen carefully to our colleagues who have expressed their desire to to constitute ourselves as an impeachment court. But I do not know how we can legally do that when the Supreme Court tells us we did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute ourselves into an impeachment court. We did not acquire it then, and we do not acquire it now. So how would we do that? How? And those of you who've worked with me know how hard I work to find a solution. I bend over backwards, I listen, I redraft everything para masaya tayong lahat. And of course, within the bounds of the law. How do we do that? How?
Mr. President, I think the good senator already provided the answer. By using the Senate's residual power. Kung titignan po niyo yung definition ng residual power, hindi po talaga nakasulat yung power per se. Ngunit inherent sa opisina yon, kaya tinawag pong residual power. Nung sabihin po ng Korte Suprema, this is immediately executory, wala pong ibang departamento, walang ibang opisina ang tinitingnan niya kundi tayo lamang. Kung hindi tayo gagalaw, wala pong iba na gagalaw. At mananatili pong nakahang ang isyong ito, Mr. President.
So yun yung first point, Mr. President, that I wanted to raise, and thank you for your response, Senator from Tarlac. And then with respect to the second phrase that I wanted to dive into, immediately executory. So sinabi to dun sa desisyon, and then I think the Senate President mentioned it also, that in their press briefing just yesterday, the Supreme Court stated that, to recall, on July 25, 2025, the Supreme Court granted the petition to dismiss the fourth impeachment complaint against Vice President Duterte. In a 13-02 decision with the justices present voting unanimously, and Associate Alfred Benjamin Kagiwa inhibiting, and Associate Justice Maria Filomena Singh on leave, the Supreme Court en banc ruled that the impeachment complaint was void for violating the one-year ban and due process requirements. This decision is immediately executory. Inulit pa nila sa press briefing nila. So sa akin lang po, parang nahihirapan ako as a lawyer and a lawyer in the Senate to say that they did not intend it to be immediately executory, because they said this knowing that there already was a motion for recon, and knowing that we are going to have this discussion today, because we made this date public, that on this day we will have this discussion. So again, I'm trying hard to see how, other than disposing of the case using our residual powers following the instructions of the Supreme Court, we can further debate this issue. That is my dilemma, dear colleagues, Mr. President.
May I offer an answer, Mr. President?
Of course.
Pasensya na po kayo kung gagamit po ako ng paghahalimbawa. Nung pong kayo po ay medyo bata-bata po, Madam Senator, meron pong lumigaw sigurado sa inyo. Yung unang lumigaw sa inyo talagang...
Yung diskusyon na yon. Hahaba ho ito, mas mahaba po sa debate ng impeachment.
Ganito po yun eh. Tinapat nyo talaga. Ayaw nyo magtagal pa yun eh. At tama naman po yung ginawa ninyo. Ipinakita nyo sa kanya, pinaramdam nyo sa kanya, talagang wala siyang maasahan kaysa mapagod pa siya. Pero ang sabi niya sa inyo, ang sabi po niya sa inyo, pwede bang ako'y kahit papano'y dadalaw-dalaw pa rin? Parang nag-MR. Nasa sayo yun, but that will not change my mind. Ganun din po yun eh. Ang Korte Suprema, sa ganitong, Mr. President, the very tenor of the decision, kahit na po sinabi niyang, oh sige, nasa sayo. Formality na lamang po yun, Mr. President. You are a trial lawyer too. Most of us here became trial lawyers. This is our experience. Huwag po nating pahirapan yun. Sana man lang kung ang decision po 8-7. Yun po pwede nating pagtalunan po eh. Wala po talaga eh. Mr. President.
If I may, Mr. President, and I think that was a good analogy. Thank you for that. Napaisip niyo ho ako doon. I think what's interesting with His Honor's analogy is there are people, there's the public, I don't know, millions of people would like to understand ano ba yung final na kasong yon, may evidence ba? And totoo yan, di ba? Hindi natin matatanggal yon. So in the same way, the